Or should I have a carrot now? Yes, have a carrot now. Hello my loves, I'm Miss MonMon. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are embarking on another vintage cooking adventure inspired by none other than the marvelous Mrs Maisel. Sometime last year, Amazon released the official Mrs Maisel Brisket recipe. Now, if you are a fan of the show, you would know that the brisket almost has this magical quality about it. It can grant wishes, it can change your day and your life. So of course I have to absolutely give it a go. So that is the recipe we will be using today. Now the number one ingredient, of course, in a brisket is the brisket itself. I will be using this delicious monstrosity from Outback Beef. They are absolutely wonderful. I will also link them down below if you are in WA and can snag yourself a delicious brisket of your own. Now, I should actually honestly point out that as an endometriosis sufferer, I can't eat a lot of red meat. So to bulk up this recipe, because I don't want to spend 6 hours cooking it and then come to dinner time and not be able to eat it, I will be adding a whole bunch of carrots and mushrooms to the bottom of my brisket just so I can enjoy something for dinner tonight. But yes, I will be tasting it, so don't worry, I will still tell you what it tastes like. Now before we begin, of course, it's aprons on. Alrighty, so the ingredients we need for today's brisket are, of course, a brisket. We have 3 medium onions that have been sliced. We need some vegetable oil, 3 cloves of minced garlic, some salt and pepper. We need some chili sauce, 2 cans of jellied cranberry sauce, a bottle of beer supplied by my dad, some apple cider vinegar, and of course I'm going to be adding my mushrooms and carrots just so I can actually eat something tonight. Yum! Okay, let's start by setting our oven to 190 degrees at fan forced. We are then going to turn the stove on, and I'm going to be using my French oven, which I sell from my mum and I don't plan on returning. We're going to add a little bit of oil and let that heat up. The first thing we're going to add are our sliced onions. And trust me, there's a fair few sliced onions, but it's totally worth it. I'm going to wait for them to start softening, and then add in some crushed garlic using the world's worst garlic crusher. Seriously, what is going on with this thing? After a quick camera angle change, I'm going to wait for my onions and garlic mixture to soften. When they are soft, I'm going to remove them and then put my brisket, which has been seasoned, fat side down on a high heat to sear it. Now, because this was such a big piece of meat, I needed a little bit of help flipping it. Whoops, almost grabbed it with the little hot handle holder thing. Thanks, Dad. And when she was seared on both sides, I took her out to rest. In the same pan, I'm now going to add my carrots and my mushrooms. I wish I added more carrots, it was so yummy. And then returning my onion and garlic mixture. Next, I'm going to add in all my liquids, which includes my apple cider vinegar, my jellied cranberry sauce, my chili sauce, and the beer provided by my dad. I'm then going to return my brisket and push it down into the delicious liquids. And then to finish her off, the recipe says to add a layer of brown sugar on top of the brisket. Brown sugar wasn't actually listed in the ingredients list, so it sort of caught me off guard, but luckily I always have brown sugar on hand because it is delicious. So now that I've done all that, I have popped her into the oven and she will be there for around 3.5 hours. In the end, I ended up keeping the brisket in the oven for 2.5 hours. She was a slightly smaller piece, so I figured that I would check every hour, and at exactly 2.5 hours, she was falling apart and delicious. So I have now separated the amazing amount of delicious sauce. It smells so good. My entire kitchen smells delightful. And this is my brisket, which is now resting. I'm gonna have a little bit of a taste. I know it tastes better the next day, but that smell, oh yum, I've gotta have a little sneaky bit. She is just falling apart. Oh my gosh, it can grant wishes. I've never had a brisket before, but I've heard so many people talk about it and all my Jewish friends love it. I now see why. I want to eat all of it, but I know I can't. So I'm really looking forward to having my veggies from it. It is sweet. There's a little bit of a kick in the background from the chili sauce. I did add a bay leaf. I felt like it just needed a little bit of a bay leaf. So there's that in it. So good. It is rich, it is delicious, it is salty, it is sweet, it is spicy. It is everything. It is so delicious. So tomorrow I will slice it up, put some sauce on it and reheat it. Thank you so much for joining me today as we embarked on another vintage cooking adventure. This has probably been my favorite one so far and I can't even eat it. That's the worst part. But I know my husband will love it because he loves a little bit of beef. If you would like to try the recipe for yourself, I have put it in my blog, which you can find in the description box below. And of course, you can always send me how yours turned out. Us Maisel fans can get together and make this delicious brisket. I don't know how people can wait until the next day to eat it because the smells, it's so delicious. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to be a part of my vintage adventures of vintage glamour and tomfoolery, you can like, comment and subscribe to my channel or find me on any of my social medias. I'd love to have you along for the journey, but I will see you guys all next week in another video. Until then, be kind, be true, be you, and I'll see you then. Bye! Okay. Stop slapping the meat one. Just like, do you ever just, you know, rice sacks? Do you ever just like to be like, BAM!
Yeah.
What is it about spanking rice? I'm just like,
oh, I don't know that spanking.
Every time I go to eat in the store. Okay. I would like to dedicate my first ever brisket to my best friend who is currently in Ireland, Frauke. This brisket is for you. I'm sending you all the delicious smells.